Hey yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your big bro, then the bass up in the tube, and let's get tuned in. Back with another one, man. And you know how we do it. When Mzansi get active, we get reactive. So the socials are active. Checked out the boys at Open Chat Podcast, and I saw a clip that I thought, okay, let me just listen to it. I'm a bit late to it, but I thought, why not? Let's check it out, analyze it, and get active.
I didn't admire
Check
it,
this
eh?
out.
Also, what is your take on his behavior? Sorry, I'm a girl's girl because I understand, like, I see it as this is a grown man who's going around basically like preying on people for the hands, like I was saying.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
practically
He's
hunting.
28, is quite young.
Okay, she's a girl's girl. Once you have a conversation with a person and they tell you where they stand before the conversation starts, it's easier for you. It would be easy for one to predict where the conversation is gonna go. When you make a firm stance on your position, it means now you are eliminating the potential for someone to show you an alternative opinion. For example, a girl's girl, a feminist, a liberal, those are more likely to be leftist point of views that are leftist. I mean, we've in the past century we've lived through them. We've seen what they've done, their falsehood, their truth, what they're able to achieve in terms of redress and solving the social ills in the society. But now the dangers with that is that it can become a rabbit hole. Once something becomes a rabbit hole, then you're doomed to believe in things that are no longer relevant for the current times. Okay, but those girl's girl is more likely to follow the leftist views. Now let's talk about the right views, the right-wing views. Right-wing views is the new way. It's been a new wave lately. When it came as an attempt to oppose the leftist views. But one thing that I noticed about it is that it can also become a rabbit hole. And once you go far left and you go far right, you go into a rabbit hole that is very dangerous, where you are unable to see the opposing view and acknowledge it. And it's also crucial to acknowledge that the leftist view and the right-wing view can both be correct at the same time. But the problem is the media tends to use platforms that are both left and right for their own intentions. So they are just mediums of relaying information, or mediums of trying to put through the message to the people that are gonna listen. But when you say you're a girl's girl, it means now you're more likely to be ignorant to the plight of people that are not girls, less likely. And then your view will be skewed toward anything that favors the girl, even if the girl is on the wrong. And that's a very dangerous precedent to set for yourself as a human being. Let's check it.
But that's a grown man. He's a grown man.
I think
at the end of the
Elizabeth
day.
means, like, in terms of preying on people, like she's basically
he's going for
into
the
the
hands,
DMs,
and then when he
saying,
gets what he wants,
He's
he
gone.
leaves. And then people are so confused as to why women are so adamant on, like, first he must do this before I do this, because no one wants to be left. She could have been going on a date with this guy genuinely to be like, oh, I like this guy, oh my gosh, treat me like he's so nice, he did this and this and this. Kanti, his motives are totally different.
and also him showing
But now
those
you
signs.
guys are shaming basically the baddie to be like, oh, she slept with him. But this guy was basically Prince Charming from start to finish. You get the chance.
I actually want us to talk about this. It's a crazy conversation because I
The
also
double
want,
standards.
No, everything.
Yeah,
because there's a lot he said, bro. And another thing,
What the guy did is wrong. When a Betty does whatever the Bettys do according to Elizabeth's point of view, is also wrong. So both can be wrong at the same time. When you are a girl's girl, you're more likely to blame the guy for the fate of the girl, even though the girl is wrong. When you're a guy's guy, you're more likely to blame the girl for her fate, even though you know the guy is wrong. Both of them could be wrong at the same time.
thing I want to talk about it, I also tell you why he's doing that. And why he's doing it and how it's negatively affecting him now. So basically, just to wrap up the story, this guy
Yeah.
didn't grow up with coins at home. So he was not so well off at home. He's a lawyer now. He's making like a lot of money. He's making a lot of money, driving a nice car, living in a nice place. He's wealthy now, travels a lot. So he's chowing the hands because he could.
It doesn't sound like wealth to me. It sounds like you could have money, but it doesn't sound like wealth.
Didn't get hands back then. But then here's the catch. He's not an old man yet. 28 is a young guy.
He's very young,
Because these things normally, it's a problem when it happens when you start doing this at 37. Then you're 40, you know.
that's like
He's doing it at 28. And then that's why he's chowing them. Because it's like this new... And I'll be honest, because I've known him my whole life. He's always been a horny guy who was thirsty, but he couldn't get the girls. You understand? So now it's a thing of finally. So he's DMing all the girls. But to answer your thing, I'm not shaming anyone.
He's always been a horny guy, but he couldn't get the girls. Why could he not get the girls? He's human. He's a man. He wants a relationship. He's unable to get relationship. Why is he unable to get the relationship? Because he didn't have the money. So now he has the money. The girls see the money, and then he's able to get relationships. And those relationships are sexual, by the way. In what sense and what logic would you have if you're not going to use the money to get whatever you wish to have in abundance? That's natural human behavior. Deprivation and starvation, once you are able to achieve, can lead to overindulgence. Because whatever you're indulging in, you never had access to it before. That's a natural human law. It can happen to both males, it can happen to both females. We've seen, case in point, I blew it. The poorest of the poor people are the ones that are more likely to overindulge and waste the money that they have just previously or recently acquired. Okay, let's go.
I'm just saying, I don't approve what he's doing, bro. But what am I gonna say? What can I do? It's his money, he's doing what he wants, and the girls agree. Okay, not agree, but they fall for it. So.
But things, I don't think like that's like Elizabeth was saying. I don't think
Elizabeth,
they necessarily...
when I come to you and I say take my card,
the girls they agree. What they fall for is their choice. Most girls are aware that once you've been splashed with the good stuff that you haven't worked hard for, there is a potential that the interaction is not genuine. They are aware from their upbringing. Even if you grew up with money, you're more likely to be aware that there's genuine money and there's fake money. You have a responsibility to do your research and find out if the goodies that you are receiving from the next guy is genuine or not. Nothing works when it's led by money. Interactions, basically, especially relationships, when a female and a male engages and that interaction is led by finances, that interaction is not genuine and is more likely not to last. What should lead our interaction is genuine connection. A man can pretend that they are providing genuine connection. You have a responsibility to, because there's good people and there's bad people out there, but it's your responsibility to find out how safe you are. Once a man starts leading with their finances, you have a responsibility to not engage in those finances and engage with the person himself so that you see what the intention is. That's your responsibility. If you're not going to account for it and shift the blame on men, then you will be doomed, because now you want the hunter who might have bad intentions to change and conform to your way of viewing things. And those people are different. They don't care about you. their aim is to get whatever they want to get and ciao.
You the one who decided to use my card.
But she's showing princess treatment.
Exactly.
She could be thinking it's genuine.
And he knows the entire time. And he's going around to a younger guy saying, oh, look, I'm doing this to these baddies. Blah, blah.
I'm his age. So, you know.
You're 28.
I'm older than him, actually.
Good genes.
Leave me hanging.
Good genes. But that's besides the point. Like, if he can do that with you, how many other people is he showing to be like, oh, there's this girl,
Look, I don't want to sound like
No, I'm just saying, like, society.
A guy flexes such things. So
I think that's
which is the societal issue.
Also cooking that big. I think he's doing that because he didn't get them when he was younger.
Yeah.
So he feels that he needs to let other people know that
validation and the low self-esteem I was talking about.
No, but like, I'm just saying on a public platform, it's wrong.
It is wrong, but like as a woman, I question as to why are you being naive as well? You know, I'm not saying
I get a question. She's saying I thought it was, but guys, principle number one in life: if something is too good to be true,
you need to
off.
Exactly.
Real love is Mtho. Asking for your time every day.
Exactly.
Not giving you black cards.
No,
Elizabeth,
but like,
once I give you a black card, you must know something is
but some people grew up with that.
No, Mara, come on. That's being naive, though.
How?
You know,
I grew up with that.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, if that's my standard, it's my standard. I cannot control the fact that, like, I'm across the table with a man who's showing me everything male figures in my life showed me how a man is supposed to take care of you, supposed to provide, and he has another motive. But then at the end of the day, I don't be like, the woman is never seen as the victim. Do you get me?
I think on the contrary as well, even if you weren't shown that when you were younger, if someone as you agree,
your child at home, actually princess treatment starts at home. Basically, when a child is still young and they are a female, how do you provide princess treatment? You treat them like a princess. Show love, you express love, show gratitude that they exist in your world, and then you do nice things for them. All those things don't mean you have to have a lot of money to do. That's what princess treatment is about. Now, she says, if that's how I grew up and the men around me are showing me that they are providers. Provider doesn't mean splashing money towards a woman. A provider means a person who has the ability to be the leader of a household. Provision doesn't mean having a lot of money. Having a lot of money can equal to your ability to do more, but you can still be your provider without having a lot of money. So what this means is, if this female Elizabeth feels that that's what she's used to and that's a standard that has been set, this is what it means. The standard that she believes was set to her is a standard by which she's going to be swallowed by vultures. Vultures spend because they have nothing to lose. How do you catch a prey? You catch a prey by dangling something in front of them that they are more likely to be attracted to, knowing very well that your motive is wrong. So any man who can dangle finances in front of her eyes can be able to take advantage of that, of her. And the fact that she believes that that's how she should be treated means that she's okay with being treated like an object. Objectification. You need to be able to analyze and gauge the people that you engage with. Whether we like it or not, is the nature of human beings. There's good people, there's bad people. The belief that finances are the way to be able to be happy in a relationship will be the downfall, because the bad people are going to use finances to take advantage of you. So when it comes to what she said, she's totally setting a bad precedent for good engagement between males and females. And if that's how you grew up with, it's okay, it's understandable, but I'm quite sure the family wouldn't agree to that. these standards that she's coming with are not from home. Being a provider is not finances, it's the ability to manage and maintain a family. That's a social standard, the Western social standard, the American social standard, the Betty social standard, stuff that are degeneracy in their general terms, and they have nothing to do with how we build relationships. That's the best thing you can do for yourself.
Growing up, if someone is showing that, and you're not gonna try to have your guard up, you're just thinking that person's being nice. Oh, I've never had this in my life.
If you don't have anything in your life, you see, that's the beauty of being a man. We understand that having nothing in your life, no one is gonna come and give you something that you don't have in your life. For every single thing that you have to receive, you have to give something in return. That's just how it is. For every single thing that you receive, you need to give out something in return. So now, a person gives you a black card and says spend however you want. You need to ask yourself, what is it that I have to give out in return of equal value? If I get a black card and I spend 50k, is there anything that I will provide to that man of equal value? The value have to amount to 50k or more that I can provide to that man. Even in Kanyamba, we have said it. You can do whatever you want, live this lifestyle, but you are going to pay. Never put your guard down. That's a bad advice.
Naivety.
But sometimes, guys, the signs are always there.
I'm realizing something.
The signs are always there.
He just explained a person
Girls
who
are
goes
genuinely
out
naive.
doing this.
They are naive, bro.
And this thing works.
Hi, bro. It works, bro. Just have money.
I thought a girl would be smart enough to quickly see. To understand. Yeah, I feel like.
But some are not. That's what I'm trying to say.
But also, bro, you need to understand that they will never understand you. They will never see it the way that you do because you're a man.
I'm realizing now.
And
I'm realizing now.
Women are brought up to believe in fairy tales.
Lions don't think like that.
So, this guy comes in and say, you need to understand they will never see it the same way as you see it because they're not a guy. As a female, you have the responsibility to listen to men when they tell you how men operate. Is your intention to argue or is your intention to understand and be safe? If your intention is to argue and you have to be on the opposing side of men, then you're going to suffer. But if your intention is to understand, and the purpose of understanding is for you to be able to live a safer life, where you don't get taken advantage of, or you don't go around coming across such men that are not genuinely good people, then you must listen to men when they tell you how bad men operate. Once you start opposing them and trying to argue with them, it means your intention is not to learn. You want to be a victim all the time, and you will be a victim, and you will be taken advantage of.
What I'm saying, you guys grew up on soccer, real things, like you grew up looking up to Messi, we grew up with like dolls and princesses and Prince Charming and stuff. So like, it's crazy to go around thinking all women are naive, but like, in reality, our foundation is a fairy tale. When you're growing up, most of the time as a hand, you are raised as a princess. Yes, you're a girl. So I don't think it's like naivety. It's just men can be bad.
You know what I like today?
Yeah.
Men can be bad people. Men can also be people. Bad men do bad stuff. Good men do good stuff. Good men lead. Bad men lead you astray. Listen to a good man. When a good man gives you advice, that's a leader. Men make better leaders in general. I can talk about that some other time, but men make better leaders in general. Listen to a good man and you're more likely to have safer encounters. Listen to a bad man, then you're more likely to be led astray. Listen to females, then you're more likely not to benefit anything. I've listened to females on many advices. Rarely has it happened that an advice that I received for a female was valuable, because men are the ones who lead society, as much as we have bad men, we do have good men as well. But those good men are the ones that cause revolutions and they change the status quo for the positive. The bad ones change it for the negative. So the thing is, men are on the opposite side of the spectrum. Men are the worst people, but men are also the great people. So you need to be able to gauge the man that you can talk to so that you can get good advices and a better way of life.
Yeah.
Today we've got two guys that are of the different view. I know, Retabile, how you think immediately when I know in your head, your guard is up. First day link up, I say black card. I know in your head, your guard is up.
That is true, bro.
You see the finesse coming.
Yeah, I just think, like we said, maybe like we grew up differently.
Facial expression.
I didn't have a soft couch to fall on and be like, okay, here, Tati black card, go swipe. So when someone does that to me, no. But I hear her side, because she's also trying to say that, I think she's also trying to explain that not all women the same. They don't all think the same. The same thing with you, man. You don't think the same. That's why we'll also never get your point of view. But at the end of the day, it's wrong. But me, once you say black card,
because I think what I'm trying to highlight is the climate of the country right now is.
How do you assess whether a man is a good man? The difference between the two types of females is, one female is more likely to gauge whether a man is a good man. The other female believes that outside of having to gauge whether the man is a good man or not, the very first step is to accept the pleasantries that come from a man. Whether the man is a good man, and should anything go wrong, we need to blame men. She wants to live in a society where bad men don't exist, and that's an illusion. There will always be bad people, there will always be good people. If you're going to accept without doing the necessary work of checking whether the man is good and the man has good intentions, then you are doomed to suffer.
A lot of women are falling prey to men who have ulterior motives. So it's not naivety. It's not naivety to be like,
Elizabeth, I disagree to a large extent, because Elizabeth, we all have a sixth sense. Number one, there's this rule they always tell you guys when growing up: don't take stuff from strangers. Now here's Mtho, he mentioned IG, Nam 10K.
Mtho, do you actually understand GBV in the country? There are syndicates going around targeting women.
No, that is
a
true.
Whole syndicate.
Yeah.
So there's no, every single time you must have a sixth sense. Oh my God, you must always. This is the reality. There are men out there who are going out,
who are preying on women.
I'm not saying that yes, it's like a pyramid. There's degrees and levels. Do you get me? I'm not saying what he's doing. That's just one example of preying on women in a monetary sense. Do you get me? And what I was trying to highlight is the sense that people kind of need to be more understanding to the fact that women are vulnerable. They are naturally, nature. Yes, in nature we're vulnerable because we're nurturers at heart. You get me? You guys are raised with this gura thing of you're a man. Do you get me?
Guys, there's something I want to vocalize and disagree with. A woman who...
Men need to understand that women are not just naive. They get taken advantage of, and they are soft at heart. So, with our understanding of women, this is how we come as your protector. First thing, men who prey on women will use resources because they are aware that you might be weak to those resources. First step, where now Mrs. Girl's girl. First step that you should do when you engage with a man: do not accept any type of pleasantries that will make you fall prey to his intentions. Once you accept, you are tainted. Do not accept. Go there with an intention to finding out the guy's motive. When that guy doesn't achieve what he wants, he's more likely going to leave. But once you entertain whatever he's feeding you, that's the poison. He's feeding you poison because he's preying on you. Remember, we don't know which guys are preying on who. So in such a case, when we don't know, there's no way we can always try to protect you against them. And you must also remember, the same guys are also preying on us to try and use us for other bad things that they do. You have, once a man guides you and say, don't fall prey, this is what he's saying. Do not take free stuff from these men, because that's the poison that they use to try and kill you. Why don't you listen to men when they tell you, do not accept free stuff from people? You are coming with excuses to be able to use men as if it's the right thing. It is wrong.
Marriage. You can have a partner who abuses you monetarily by either taking money away or using money to manipulate you. Yeah. He's using money to manipulate women and get what he wants. So it links in the sense that it's a spectrum.
I get you, Elizabeth. It sounds good what you're saying. It is
but
right.
It doesn't sound. It's the reality.
I disagree to a certain extent because I feel like we were taking this thing and you took it to GPV. I feel like GPV is extreme, and I'll tell you why.
Because you're a man, it's extreme.
It's not. Listen, let me cook. Elizabeth, let me cook without getting emotional. I'm not saying
I'm not emotional. One thing about me, I did debate and I have a law degree. I'm very logical. That's why I'm saying of the country.
She's not logical as well. She's the worst person to have a conversation with. But when it comes to GBV, which is not a topic that was spoken about here, the topic was about a guy. His intention is not GBV. His intention is to simply pray for sexual pleasure. Praise on women for sexual pleasure. There's no GBV there. That's what we need to talk about. But when it comes to GBV and the spectrum, she's definitely correct now. GBV is a different level of things. Here, everything is consensual, but the difference is the other one is taking advantage of the resources that he has. The same way females will take advantage of other men using a resource that they have, which is what? The punani.
And everything. Akiri guys like Coochie, it's a known thing. There's girls that come to Mtho. First day, this one saying, you want.
It happens, bro. Yeah, and you take it the
sick,
first night,
and then I get sick.
Yeah.
When you tell me the story, I'll say, my brother, you should have read. She offered it to you.
You were being naive.
I don't know if you get me. In as much as I want it, but if you come to me first day and you say, is the kuchachi piñata, take
no
it.
Payment used now.
Do you get what I'm trying to say, Elizabeth?
I think we'll just agree to disagree.
But you get what I was saying?
No, I hear that chat, but I feel like maybe it needs like. I don't want to say
different levels of I think severity.
Yeah, and I think it's just the thing where maybe you guys are not ready to have the conversation right now.
No, but like currently with everything that's...
No. Never ever have a conversation with a person who already made up their mind and are deep in a rabbit hole, because you're just wasting your time. That example that Mtho just made is extremely valid. A female comes, they offer you something that they know you value, and you take it without assessing if it's genuine or not. As a man, you have to take responsibility for accepting what you didn't check, what you didn't assess to make sure of its legitimacy. You have a responsibility to make sure that every single thing that you've been given is legitimate and is genuine. Once a woman opens their legs and you know nothing about them, you haven't done your background check, you are a fool as a man.
Obviously not. But you get what I'm saying,
so
Elizabeth?
Deception is the key factor.
So Elizabeth, you saying that guys with money use deception?
I feel like
money as a weapon.
A form of deception.
I'm saying like in general, right? Women, I'm highlighting the issue about the naivety, saying women should stop being naive, but men are using deception. So there's no, it's like saying children mustn't be naive to abuse, but someone is using deception to abuse them. Do you get me? These are vulnerable persons we're talking about. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like for Mtho, it's a bit of a touchy subject because it's his boy. You get me? That's why it's not clocking.
No.
What I'm saying is...
But I have a question.
Women are vulnerable. When you're vulnerable, listen to people who are more likely to protect you from your vulnerability. When they say don't do this, you simply don't do it. Don't push and try to justify it, because once you justify it, you're going to fall prey to the same type of vultures that the men are advising you against.
No,
what would you say if you were to, okay, hypothetically speaking, you have a child now, ne? What would be the first words you tell to your child if maybe they were to open up to you and say, yo, mom, here's a guy. He just gave me a card and he took me shopping literally on the first day. What would you say to that child of yours?
Give this child an advice. Yeah, just an advice. Telling you now.
Okay. Now what I'm trying to make you guys understand, because what I'm trying to make you guys understand is that I understand both sides of the coin.
Give the child an advice. Advise your child now.
Because in school, there's a subject we do called jurisprudence. And in jurisprudence, there's different types of racism, psychological issues, all these things that you deal with. Society is not black and white. Do you get me? I can come up from a very, very wealthy home and still be the product of a bad circumstance. So when raising a child, yes, you're going to raise your child to constantly be wary of everything. It's like your child can swim, but you're always going to tell them, be careful of sharks. Even if they're the best swimmer in the ocean, be careful of sharks. Yeah. Do you get me? You're still going to let them swim because why? Yes, it's life. You want to swim, you want to go out, but be careful of sharks.
This one is a lawyer.
I think
listen, you know what I'm saying? That she doesn't answer he asked you a question.
You're still going to let your child swim, but be careful of sharks. Okay, in this regard, if we're going to compare now the swimming analogy and the dating analogy, I'm gonna tell her, do not date a guy who's gonna give you money. See, that's an advice a man will give you. If a guy gives you money, that's a red flag, stay away. So basically I'm saying, do not swim where there's sharks. Swim where there's no sharks at all. Her advice to the child will be, swim, there are sharks, but be careful. Meaning you're sending your daughter to be chowed by sharks. Very bad advice. That's why I rarely take advice from women in general.
Question, and you're quick to say
you see the tactic. Trying to give you an analogy that you understand, because you used gold pokes. An analogy.
I think Elizabeth is trying to
say yes. I had a child, right, with my upbringing, how I was raised is you love those who love you. You have everything at home. If you meet someone who's a provider, go ahead with it. That's me. And you know why I'm saying,
you love if you love. If you meet a shark, go ahead and be child, but be careful.
So you sliding there 3 days.
But remember, it's not the first day. This guy is quoting them from DM.
DMs.
So don't now change the circumstances to he meets them, it's the first day. That's a hookup. That's a whole different thing.
No,
that's
prostitution. Take too long. No. It doesn't take too long. It's literally.
Let's say it's a couple of days.
You cannot tell me he showed you.
We started talking like 2 days ago, and then okay, the conversations are flowing, but you hardly even know me. I'm a stranger, and then I meet you.
When you meet a girl that you like, how long do you take before the first date? Are you any different from him? With the money?
It depends.
He doesn't do card. He doesn't do card.
I think what Elizabeth is trying to say is that we mustn't.
Elizabeth is a lawyer, yo.
I think to say we mustn't say that women of maybe falling to, or let me inverted commas, that it must be brought down to the fact that they're naive.
Because it's misogyny.
I think that's what she's trying to say.
Men are the problem in the climate of this country.
Yeah,
men are the problem.
It's because of.
No, both genders are the problem. It's not only men that are the problem. Women are also the problem, depending on who you talk to. The reason I would never accept to take this stand is that last time I decided to think men are the problem, that's when I saw the worst thing happening in my personal life as well. Because you end up doing good, and deep down inside you feel like I am the problem. No matter how good you do, you still receive. I saw myself receiving a whole lot of negative interaction from the other people, as good as I was trying to be. But the reason I was good is because deep down I had a belief that men are the problem. Until a realization came that no, man, the reason these people are treating me bad like this is because I also believe that I am the problem. Until I decided that I'm not the problem, I'm the solution. I'm not going to play that victim mindset where I've been told that I'm the bad person when I'm not. When things started changing and I was able to see females for what they really were, the ones that were not good that I came across, and that helped me to be able to stay away from the bad people. Depending on how you ask, I've seen a lot of psychologists who engage with both with GBV issues telling me that, hey, bro, the women are the problem. I've engaged with people who do prison reform and spoke about every man that is in prison right now, directly or indirectly, are there because of a woman. We've seen people like Andile, who used to do Kumbule Kaya, saying that in this society, based on the work that she's done, women are the problem. Divorce court, divorce lawyers. When you listen to divorce lawyers telling you about the cases and why women are predominantly the cause of divorces, that's because the women decided to be the problem, unprovoked when nothing has been done. People, depending on you doing, the type of job that you are doing, the stats that you're looking at, the cases that you solve, you will have a totally different perspective about who the problem is. But because she is a girl's girl, feminist type thoughts, she will always believe that the men are the problem, which is setting a very bad precedent. Men, never listen to such people. Don't engage with them. Actually, as soon as you come across such a person, run away, because she will do something bad and point it on you. The victim mindset is on steroids here.
I wouldn't. I would literally tell my child, I don't think you should. I don't think that's safe for you because of how I grew up and the things that I've experienced.
Oh yeah,
that's what I was.
So it boils down to how you grew up and your experiences.
And also my experiences. I would literally tell my child no.
You know what I feel like? I feel like I get you, Elizabeth, but I feel like both people have a responsibility to act right. The guy has a responsibility to act right. The girl has a responsibility to look out for herself. And I feel like you're rushing to say the guy is wrong.
Yeah, the guy.
But he's moving with deception. She's not.
I'll tell you what I'm saying. I'm saying
the girl is moving with deception because should a guy not shown any expression of financial worth, she probably wouldn't have gone out with him. So she's moving with deception. Here's what the thing that a guy is doing, which is smart. He is aware that if I didn't show up this level of finances, this woman would not be with me. The man is showing it for the purpose of acquiring the female. So the female is moving with deception and the guy is also moving with deception. So they're both deceiving each other. That's why eventually they will separate. Naveed, the girl is naive because now she knows she's moving with deception, but she expects the guy to follow through and not deceive her when she can see from the onset that there's a possible deception happening here. And Elizabeth wants you to accept that and allow women to move like that, which is totally wrong.
Accountability, Elizabeth. As much as the boys are wrong.
Naivety again, it boils down to that because some girls don't want to be responsible enough to know in the context of everything happening in the country. Like currently you talk about GBV, you talk about everything. And I'm not saying men aren't the problem. But what I'm trying to say is, here's a guy, Elizabeth, first day, he's giving you the car to go spend or whatever. Surely you should be raising questions as to why are you doing this? What are your intentions? So if you're going to accept everything just like that without asking any questions, I feel like that is being lazy intentionally. And that is you just avoiding accountability in the sense that you're being naive. You understand? You're being naive and...
I think let's remove the word.
No, that's naivety.
Like you said, it's a life of sharks. If you know it's a life full of sharks, you have a huge responsibility to switch on and be alert. As a person who understands what's happening in society.
For men, it's a luxury.
Huh?
If you know it
is a luxury.
What's a luxury?
In this country, to be a man is a luxury.
Oh.
It is.
No.
In the sense of your safety, we're talking about predatory behavior, deception, right? You guys don't have a higher threshold of watching out for the sharks than women do.
No.
Remember, Elizabeth,
being a man is a luxury. So this is some man-hating talking points that we need to be careful of. Once females start talking about being a man in this country is a luxury, then I know that there's nothing to engage with. We're just gonna go down the rabbit hole of them being emotional and trying to paint me as a bad person. But we see that all the time. It happens all the time. Once female starts talking like this, we know that things are just not gonna go well. Stay away. stay sane, keep them away from you women that thinks like this, because boy, before you know it, you're in trouble. You'll be charged with things that you don't want to be charged with. Anyway, just gonna leave it there. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Yeah, it's not worth it. But like we always do, when Mzansi get active, we get reactive. Until the next video, let's get pushing. No DNA, just our say. Peace.